The Fort of Moonlight and Cookies. Leo sat on the edge of his bed, looking at his open backpack. Inside were his favorite striped pajamas, his toothbrush, and his softest socks. He felt a little bit like a small boat about to sail into a big, unknown ocean. His mom sat beside him and tucked his favorite wooden dinosaur into the side pocket. "You're going on a grand adventure tonight, Leo," she said with a warm smile. "And every great adventurer needs a trusty backpack." When they arrived at Grandma Greta's house, the porch light was glowing like a giant friendly firefly. Grandma Greta opened the door wide, her arms ready for a big hug. The house smelled like cinnamon and old books, a scent that always made Leo's tummy feel calm. "Welcome to the sleepover kingdom, Leo," Grandma Greta chirped, her eyes twinkling behind her glasses. "I've been waiting all day for my favorite explorer to arrive." Instead of a regular bed, Grandma Greta had built something spectacular in the middle of the living room. It was a fort made of velvet blankets, golden silk scarves, and strings of tiny white lights that looked like captured stars. "This is the Moonlight Fortress," she announced. Leo crawled inside and found a pile of the fluffiest pillows he had ever seen. It felt like being inside a warm, glowing cocoon. "Before an explorer can sleep, he must have fuel," Grandma Greta said, heading to the kitchen. Leo helped her scoop balls of dough onto a shiny baking sheet. They called them brave batches because they were filled with extra chocolate chips for courage. As the cookies baked, the kitchen turned into the coziest place in the world. Leo realized that being at Grandma's wasn't scary. It was a different kind of magic. After the cookies were eaten, they went to the big window. Outside, the world was painted in shades of deep blue and silver. Grandma Greta pointed to the moon, which looked like a bright, silver coin. "The moon is the world's nightlight, Leo," she whispered. "It stays awake so you don't have to. And the stars are just the porch lights of the angels, making sure the path is always clear." Suddenly, Grandma Greta pulled an old wooden trunk from under the stairs. "Time for the midnight parade," she declared. She draped a bright red cape over Leo's shoulders and put a shimmering crown on her own head. They marched through the hallway, Leo brandishing a flashlight like a magical wand. The shadows didn't look like monsters anymore. They looked like dancing partners in their royal procession. As the clock ticked softly, it was time to settle into the fort. Grandma Greta sat on the floor just outside the blankets and opened a thick book with gold-edged pages. Her voice was steady and low, like a gentle stream. She read about dragons who liked to bake and whales that sang songs to the moon. Leo felt his eyelids getting heavy, the rhythm of the story pulling him toward a peaceful dream. Leo thought of his mom and dad for a moment and felt a tiny pinch of sadness in his chest. Grandma Greta seemed to know exactly what he was thinking. She reached into her knitting basket and pulled out a small, fuzzy bear with a button nose. "This is Barnaby," she said. "He's a professional hug catcher. If you feel a little lonely, you just give him a squeeze and he'll hold on to it for you until morning." Leo snuggled deep into the pillows, clutching Barnaby the bear. The tiny white lights of the fort cast a soft glow over everything. He listened to the quiet hum of the refrigerator and the distant hoo-hoo of an owl. It was a different sound than home, but it was a good sound. He felt brave, he felt loved, and most of all, he felt very, very sleepy. The next morning, the smell of sizzling butter woke Leo up. He crawled out of his fortress to find Grandma Greta flipping golden pancakes that were shaped like dinosaur footprints. "Good morning, sleepover champion," she cheered. Leo realized he had done it. He had stayed the whole night, and he couldn't wait to tell his mom and dad all about his adventures in the sleepover kingdom.